Hello everyone, welcome to our fourth instructional video. Today our topic is layout, the visual hierarchy and the placement of elements. In today's video we have four parts. The first one is about arranging elements, how to arrange all the visual elements in the PowerPoint slide. The second one is how to use some visual elements like background, text, the color. And the third one is create movement, use animation. The fourth one is do an exercise. As for how to place visual elements, we need to know 6 things. They are contrast, flow, hierarchy, unity, proximity, and white space. The last one is pretty straightforward. All of us need some visual breathing room. We cannot fill a PowerPoint slide full of the information. Otherwise, audience may feel overwhelmed. To create contrast on a slide, we can have different sizes, shapes, shades, colors, or proximity. In that way, audience can identify the main point quickly. Next part is about flow and hierarchy. Why visual hierarchy is so important? Because we all have a typical reading habit that's from left to right and the top to bottom. Our eyes scan back and forth across content in a Z-shaped path, like here, until all the information processed. And the visual hierarchy leads us to see the relationships between the elements. It defines the structure formed when relationships apply to a set of elements. If we change the size and proximity of objects, that also modify the way we process the information. Like here, we put a big image here, so it will lead our readers come to this part and process the information here first, then we continue our Z path. Here we see 4 well-designed PowerPoint slides. The information are chunked in different way, and as you can see the second one, the people split the PowerPoint slide equally into 4 columns. And how do these people organize or chunk this information? How did they design this PowerPoint slide? That's the concept we're gonna talk about. It's unity, the structure of information. How do we build the structure of information? We can achieve unity through using the grid, like here, the first one. It's a feature in PowerPoint, and we can create the rectangle regions for placement of elements. Each region is a container for an element, such as a block of text or an image. You can decide how big that block it is. Like here, you just use the whole chunk for image or text. And this one, you can split the PowerPoint slide equally into 4 columns, any way you prefer, but the first thing is use the grid. And now I'm gonna show you in PowerPoint how to use grid. The thing we're gonna do here is go to the view and turn on ruler and the guides. Now we only have one vertical and a horizontal line. We need more to build a structure. But let's see what we want first. Let's choose a simple one. Build 2 same boxes. And because what we want is pretty simple, we don't have to build exactly the same one. So what we're gonna do is put your mouse on the line and right click, say add a vertical guide and put it at 6. The number will tell you did you put it at the right place. And now I add the one in the middle. Because it's a special one, I want to change the color and tell myself it's the one in the middle. As you can see, we already have a big box here, but you may don't want it the same size. So you can add more lines to change the size of it. And after you find the image you want to fill here, you can change the size of the box accordingly. It's pretty flexible. And now you can see we already have one box here, and you can build a same size box here, just add 2 more vertical line. And if you don't need this grid anymore, you can hide them. And next time you need them, they are still here. Okay, that's pretty much about it. About proximity, it's the meaning from location. Where you put the visual elements also has the meaning. For the left PowerPoint slide, the people just simply type everything there, and they look all the same, nothing really different from each other. You cannot tell which part is more important. But for the right PowerPoint slide, the part above is a big chunk. It tells you what's the topic, what the speaker gonna talk about later. And the part on the bottom is more about the speaker's personal information. So it's pretty clear. You have the visual hierarchy, and according to the size and how the people chunk the information, you know the part above is the key information and you should focus on it. So we should place elements associated with each other intentionally. After we finish the arranging elements, now we comes to the visual elements. What visual elements we have to arrange on a PowerPoint slide? Their background, color, text, and image. Because our second instructional video already talked about how to use image, this time we're gonna focus on first 3. A background is a container or surface on which to place visual elements. Background is there to host your objects, not be an object. Background should never compete with content. So if your background is not the content you're gonna talk about, the background shouldn't be distracting, because what the audience should focus is your content. And the human eye requires contrast for visibility, and pure black or pure white backgrounds have the greatest opportunity for contrast. Here I use Apple as an example. Apple loves using black as their background color, and here even the objects are black, and if you add some white around the edges, they have great visibility. You can compare the size of these phones. And as for color, usually we have a hard time to decide what background color should you use. If you're gonna use an image in your PowerPoint slide, here is a quick way. For example, I'm gonna use this image, and I can see a lot of blue in this image. If I get this blue and put it as our background color, still have great contrast here. And another color that's dominant in this image is the brown color from his skin or from this basketball. If you choose this brown color as the background color, also have great contrast. Here we come to text part, how to display text in a PowerPoint slide. Here are some good examples. The first one is the similar format. So the up and down format, they are consistent. The second one is learn to use the bright color. Then the text will stand out. Third one is mirror the text. They are repetitive and also creative. This one used the great contrast, color contrast, and also have the visual hierarchy. You immediately notice there are 2 parts in this PowerPoint slide. This one is bold the keywords and make it largest. It's really noticeable and readable. The last one is contrast is key. So the contrast used here is color contrast, the size contrast, also the proximity contrast. After we have learned the visual elements and how to place them in a PowerPoint slide, we need to know how to create the movements. That's used animation. Here is a simple one. So in this way, audience will follow the animation to process the information. They will understand, oh, why does this graphic look like this way? Now my PowerPoint becomes more visually engaging and you have more interaction with your audience. Because today we learned visual hierarchy, now let's do an exercise to practice it. Place an image of a sports figure on a neutral background. Explain the stance, move, or style the figure is exhibiting. Use callouts to explain the information. So feel free to find any image you prefer and use a proper background and use the shapes or dialogue bubbles or anything to explain this sport more detail. Here's just an example for what I did. Please let me know if you have any questions when you are doing this exercise. And thank you for watching today's video.